Okay, so welcome to the Divine Healing Master Key webinar to give you a taste for this wonderful work. And I just want to share with you tonight, or this afternoon, or I think it's afternoon for most people at the most, what this work is all about. And divine healing came through in an answer to a request from Almira, who used to run the Centre for Conscious Ascension with me and I, for a really powerful healing tool that would allow us to shift our very deep separation programming, especially around disempowerment. And we'd spent many years looking at all sorts of tools to try and clear our ego programs, and we found a few, and Almira tried to learn from the teachers of them how to teach it, but they weren't prepared to share it. So in the end, she decided to develop something herself with two other very experienced colleagues, friends, and it became Divine Healing. And basically the higher realms came together, and many groups of beings, angelics and ascended masters and extraterrestrials, all sorts of beings came together to produce this system. And the whole point of the system is to dismantle the whole illusory human ego construct that creates a sense of separation from Great Spirit, so that we can go home in consciousness, back to source, back to oneness. That's the purpose of divine healing. The real purpose of it is not just healing, but it's actually enlightenment if you really worked on yourself. And that's what that's the main reason it's come to Earth. And so it's based on the principle of ask and you shall receive, and it aligns you to the higher self, and the higher self puts you together the way you are. Therefore it knows how to dismantle all of the ego constructs that we have as a filter upon the way we interact with the world. So we're going to talk about that today. So let's have a look here. I'm going to share the screen a little bit now. Just get this right. So the idea, make sure my microphone's on. The idea of divine healing is to be able to do a lot of this, to really feel free of our ego programming, and to be able to jump with joy and totally engage with life. And coming into the earth plane means that we have quite a big karmic load. We all have it, and breaking free of it is what our soul really wants us to do, because all those ego programs are there just for us to learn from, not to defeat us, really. And so it's very much about freeing up your life with divine healing. That's what this is about, and this work is about moving into empowerment, taking charge of our lives by dismantling our ego, which keeps us in a prison initially in life. And there's a way through it, because the higher self put all the programming in place here, but there is a way to break free. So the question here really for all of you who are watching live and who watch the video is that, are you ready to make your life really happen? To understand and transform the fundamental underlying, very hidden programming and ego that creates your life in each moment, and to make your life better as a result. Because we all have challenges of all sorts in life that we face. It's the nature of coming into a body as a soul. It's very intense, and the same old stuff keeps happening a lot of the time. And we have our dreams, and we yearn for them. It's what keeps us going. But if you clear enough of this programming, this can actually come true. And as you get clearer of the ego programming, you get access to while you're really here. You can develop and fully come alive and live your vision. I remember when I first started on this path back in 1987, I really had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't know there was a purpose or a vision. But I just was interested in growing, really. And as I've got clearer especially since using divine healing since 2006, I have managed to develop and fully live my vision, which is to awaken as many light workers as possible, like you guys, so you can come online with your missions and make a difference down here. And 10 years of doing this pretty regularly has really given me some amazing opportunities. I'm writing my book on soul contract work and getting to teach at some amazing places, and TV shows with Gaia.com and Boulder, Colorado, and just some amazing opportunities come because I've made all this happen, actually. And divine healing basically is based on ask and you shall receive, in the higher self basically can help you heal deeply, completely and easily. Stuff which the ego tells you it's never going to clear, but it can be done with focus and determination. And when our ego is clear enough, we can reconnect to our true essence and tap into our soul's gifts and qualities, which is what it wants us to do. Leave all that emotional drag weight behind, and as a result experience more love and joy and fun and aliveness, and become the master of our life, which basically means that we are in charge of our life often for the first time. When we might have, I used to feel I was never going to get in charge of my life. I always felt like I was a victim at the mercy of life's forces. Stuff just happened. Still does occasionally, but most of the time it's pretty good stuff. So essentially divine healing is really a multidimensional healing system whose purpose is to open to grace. It provides a really profound, quick and simple set of tools that basically can peel the ego and then allow you to reconnect to spirit at all levels as your ego filter is dissolved. And when you realize, actually, I can take apart this ego which has been bugging me for so long, then it brings you into empowerment. And as I mentioned earlier, it's keys to enlightenment, a really high state of consciousness. And when you do that, I like red onions, so I thought I'd put one in. So this is you, this is us. Oh, I want to change colour. Get a bit of colour, it's not very good, is it? I don't want purple, we'll go blue. This is us, this is the flame of consciousness, this is the pure consciousness that we actually are. And then our ego puts all these layers of this onion around us that create all this weird stuff which we'd rather not happened coming at us in life. So divine healing is your onion peeler. It peels the onion away so you get back to the essence of who you are. And when you get back to that spark of the divine, spark of the creator, which is what we really are, life really happens, because as that energy is freed up, and we don't have this filter between us and the world, it goes out in the world and creates the good stuff. Okay, what we all desire moves out because it's not constrained anymore. So divine healing is designed to free you up, to get you back to your essential nature. And it does that by taking the mud of life. This is a Buddhist model. All the emotional separation, all the darkness, all the things which we don't want to look at. Someone just joined us. All that the ego doesn't want to look at. And it basically transmutes it into lotuses. So for you guys who just joined, if you want to switch your cameras on, it's on the bottom left, second one in. Okay, Anita, if you want to join us, it's up to you. Be nice to see some more faces on, but you don't have to if you don't want to. It transmutes mud into lotuses because everything is one ultimately. There's no good and evil really. It's just unconscious stuff and conscious stuff. So it's about converting all our unconscious programs that the soul loads into us into beautiful lotuses in life, so that we can flower and bloom and bring our gifts to the world. So how do you actually do that? How do we grow lotuses out of the mud? It's like this. We have to do the thing our ego doesn't want us to do, and that is to take our willingness and desire and courage, and bring our bring feeling consciousness to our issues. It could be unworthiness, lack of trust, feeling abandoned by God. We all have these are the core programs ego carries. Bringing consciousness to it and spreading it with this light blue energy. Because if you can feel each layer of your ego onion 100%, that layer dissolves and you become free of it. Because what you feel, you can heal. That's the core principle here. And divine healing is designed to help you become conscious of and feel a lot of the stuff and then to clear it. There's a common misperception in the alternative field is that if you understand what your program is, it's going to clear. That's not the case. You just understood it. But it doesn't take away the program. Because unless you feel it, it's not going to do anything. Because the soul just wants you to feel it, and then it can go. So what happens is most of us do this. We have all these programs, and then we have this lovely layer of emotional ice. We cover them, we numb them out, we bury them, we deny the programs. So what you can't feel, you can't heal. So the ego protects itself. So you can't feel those issues. So you sort of slide off to the side. Because we've learned to control our emotions a lot in the West with our prefrontal cortex. So we go into left brain thinking about what stuff is rather than just feeling it. This is how the ego defends itself. So what divine healing does is that it helps you break through with grace and ease this ego protection. Allows us to feel, break through the protection and feel the stuff. And we can ask highest consciousness or spirit to help remove this energy, and then it starts to release and things start to shift. So once you start doing that, the programs dissolve. And this is actually what happens. Okay, so this is us. This is how we're built. This is our higher self. This is a Vedic model. This is frequency, high frequency up the side. And our higher self, which is permanent, we're eternal beings. There's a Atmic body or God self, a Buddhic body or higher emotional body, a non-linear mind. That's the bit that Mozart tapped into to deliver symphonies when he was 7 in completeness. And then what it does is it decides, okay, I want to grow more. So it creates us. It creates our soul, which incarnates into this physical reality, and it creates 4 components. It creates a physical body for the soul to come into, energy bodies around the physical body, an emotional body where all our lovely separation programs sit, and a mental body and the linear ego mind, which is the thing that gets in the way a lot. And so it's full of emotional separation programs, which actually prevents us from accessing the higher consciousness. And most importantly here, we have this little blue line called the Antakarana. This is where the life force comes from, the higher self. And that's actually what keeps us alive. Just breathing and drinking and eating is not enough, really. And this part's impermanent. And this is the part that divine healing works on, to clean this whole thing up, to access higher consciousness. So, if you use divine healing or any other healing tool that brings feeling consciousness, okay, to clean up the impermanent lower self, what happens is the antakarana opens up, and then this violet unconditional love comes in, and life starts to get easier. You notice how life gets easier as you work on yourself more? Well, it's because this is happening. It's getting more graceful. And then you keep working on yourself, you get this. You get a bigger opening. Life flows even more because higher consciousness is coming in. There's more love. We're more accepting of ourselves. We're dropping the ego's judgment of ourselves. And then if you get to this stage, where the antakarana is at maximum opening, this is called enlightenment. This is where you have burnt, dissolved, whatever you want to call it, the ego. And then the higher consciousness is free to come through you. And then it comes through you and flows out into the world and creates all the good stuff. This is what the avatars, this is state they're in. So it's possible to do this with a lot of work. And so the manifestation of whatever you desire in life happens so much more easily because you're a clear channel. It's like a movie projector with a very clean lens. But when you're born here, you have a very dusty lens. So the light coming through from higher consciousness can't project its true nature out there. But when you clean the lens really well, this is actually what manifests your mission in life, your gifts, all the good things come this way. But it's important to have the vehicle here really clear. And so what happens here is that as your vehicle gets clearer, you start moving from the place where most humans are, which is called following the ego, which is the path of suffering. So because you're doing what the left brain linear mind of the ego wants, it thinks it wants to do. It's just like this little blue dot here with not a lot of awareness because it's stuck in this earthly reality. As you start to do divine healing, you start to shift this way to following what we call the spiritual signature, which is the flow of spirit. In each moment there's one right action, and that right action is what opens your heart. And that's the path of bliss that frees up your life. And so when you become aware of this, and as you're working on yourself, you gradually converge on this as you get clearer emotionally. And then after a while, you really merge with this. So in each moment, you're following the heart. And when you do that, life really opens, becomes more graceful. It's not a struggle in the way it was. And your consciousness is expanded out to here. This is the vastness of spirit which guides you, because it has a much bigger picture of what's going on. That's where divine healing takes you. So you have a different sort of life, really. And when you do that, what's happening here is that you're addressing these emotional blockages. This is our life force coming this way, and these emotional programs which your soul puts in place, there's challenges to overcome. They steal our life force because we hang on to it. And so you only may have a third of your life force, for example, coming through. So life, you don't have enough juice to manifest what you desire in life. Okay? And we all have these different challenges. And so divine healing is designed to actually clear these challenges, to peel the ego onion in the right order. There's a certain way of awakening. This is what this work does. And if you do this, and you dissolve, you break through the numbness, the ego defense mechanisms, your life force gets freed up. So you have more energy, a lot more energy, and a lot more ability to manifest what you desire. And so your gifts flow, your mission in life flows, it all flows. So any questions on that so far? If you want to speak, just unmute yourself on the bottom left before I continue. I have a few questions and I'm going to give you a direct experience of it. Christina, you got any questions? No? You can just switch on your microphone on the bottom left if you want to ask any questions. There you go. Do you want to show yourself, or is it a bit too early in the morning?
It's actually 5:25. I'm with my husband next to me. I don't know if you see him, Thomas and Mark. No, actually, I'm in the way of everything that you are explaining, so it's clear for me. I'm
Okay.
just taking things in.
Okay. Thanks for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Anyone else want to share? Any questions? Sophia?
So, Niklas, yes. The key in this is when you work with a client is to bring the person just from understanding out of a mental level into feeling
Yep.
what is going on. So,
Yep. That's what it's all about.
yes. Are there special tools what the divine healing is providing to do that, or?
Yeah, divine healings. There's a lot of diagnostic components and charts in divine healing, which
Okay.
help you actually identify what someone's feeling. Okay, 'cause
Okay.
they may not know what's there. Okay, I'll give you an example. Hang on. So here's a divine healing chart. So I'll show you. In divine healing, this is the manual. There are 26 charts for each letter of the alphabet.
Okay.
And some of these charts are diagnostic charts. So say a client comes to you and says, Sophia, I'm not feeling very good, but I don't know what it is, but it's not good. Can I come and see you? And so we might go to a chart called like main low frequency programs here. Okay, because this is designed to identify what is going on, bring consciousness to it. So we would go in here and we use number mapping and muscle testing. So say, for example, we got a choose a number between 1 and 21. We would then, and I say get a 6. So that we know it's in this category how your client's feeling. Okay? And then you would then muscle test or number map. We teach you how to do that. Number mapping is just getting the highest to tell you what's there. It's very easy.
Okay.
Then failure comes through and you say to your client, you're feeling like a failure. And then your client, she says, hey, you're right. Because when you name it, they go, oh, that's it. I'm feeling a failure because I didn't achieve what I wanted to do at work in the project. And it's gone very deep, Sophia, really deep. And I felt a failure when I was at school. My dad told me off because I didn't get A in all my exams. And so you've just brought consciousness, you've just broken through the turquoise ice and you got to it. And because you can feel that, then you can go and clear it. You see?
I understand.
So there's lots of tools like that, so people can get.
So this is how you connect with a person on an emotional level, then, and break through this. I see.
The turquoise ice, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You do a lot of that, and then you apply what we call command codes. You actually ask the higher self to dismantle that program, because once they've felt it, then the program is open season. You can just clean it out because they felt it. And that will go, and she'll feel a lot better. It doesn't take long.
Yes, I understand. That's wonderful. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions on that? Because we're going to go and try a bit of this now. No one else? Okay. So I want you all to all close your eyes. I want you just to feel whatever's coming up for you at this time. And we'll just feel whatever negative emotion may be running. Okay? You might be feeling sad. I'll just name a few. Or jealous. Or a bit afraid of something in life. Just get a sense of what that is. Or if you can't put words to it, just feel whatever's there anyway. Because the main thing is to bring feeling consciousness to it. You might be feeling poor, who knows, or guilty about something. Just be really honest with yourself. Okay? I'll give you a minute to feel that. Then quietly, I'm going to clear the program. I want you to feel the shift that's going to happen here. So just get a sense of how this program operates in your life without telling yourself a big story. Just get a sense of that. Just feel it. And if you're able to, get a sense of when this thing first started. Might be this life, maybe when you were 2, you might have started in a past life. Just get a sense of when this first started. Your intention will take you there. And let yourself open to all aspects of this feeling. Just dive into that big red energy which I showed you in the presentation. Just breathe through your mouth into all the different layers of it. Bring your feeling consciousness to it. It's not about understanding it, it's just about feeling it. Feeling the attachment your ego may have to holding on to this, because the main ego program is to suffer, wants to suffer and punish itself, punish you. Become aware of any feelings of being bad for having this main low frequency program, whatever it is, because the ego will judge it as well. Yeah, be aware of the judgment as well. Bad feelings of being bad and judgment. That's actually what holds the program in place, paradoxically. And the more you can open to this main low frequency program, the more it can integrate and heal, because you're just bringing consciousness to it, feeling consciousness. Just do that for another minute or two, then we're going to clear this, whatever program you had. Okay, so keeping breathing through your mouth, staying in that place of feeling consciousness. I'm going to actually do the command code quietly now. I want you to feel a shift here. Okay, I've just completed the clearing process with the command code. So I want you to feel how you feel now that whatever you were working on, that layer's dissolved. And when you're ready, just take a few deep breaths through your mouth, because that keeps you in your body, and open your eyes. Just bring yourself back into the space. Would anyone like to share how they feel, how it was before and after? If you can put words to it. Remember to switch on your microphones, bottom left.
Hello.
Okay, Suzanne. Yeah.
I had the energy was in my forehead on the left, and it was really quite intense, like a headache. And now it feels much lighter and open, and I feel balanced.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
Sophia.
Okay, I can explain something about going down the rabbit hole. First, I'm really in a good mood, and I felt like joy, and I'm like, okay, we're going to do an exercise. So take this opportunity. So, and I said, okay, what is it? What is it? What I have in my life? What is still not cleared? And it's a certain frustration in my relationship with my husband. And what it turned back into was actually before we married, and it was the issue about setting boundaries and speaking up for myself, which I didn't do sufficiently enough, and it was built up. It's built up in my marriage. So I then said, okay, this not setting boundaries and not speaking up for myself, it brought me even into a deeper layer, into my childhood, which was with my mother. And there was the root source of why I didn't speak up, because I was not wanted. So I wanted not to be, that she is mad at me, because I wanted that she loves me. So that is the root source. And I know this because I have been through certain programs already for a while, but I realized there are always still deeper layers. So I open up to that. And when you started the healing process, Nicholas, I felt it immediately through my third eye. I felt whatever you commanded is coming through my third eye chakra, and started to work with whatever was there, and I feel okay. Thank you.
Okay, good. You're actually looking younger since I last saw you anyway, so whatever you're doing is working. So.
Name change for one.
Yeah, I noticed that, yeah. Yeah. Anyone else want to share their experience there? Jonathan, do you want to share something briefly, or bottom left, if you want to share?
Yeah, it was. What happened was all in my legs.
Yeah.
I obviously couldn't hear what you were saying, so I didn't actually know that you were doing anything. But then suddenly I just started feeling my whole legs were. I'm going to describe it as lighter, sort of energetically lighter, a little bit of buzz, like tingling. That was what happened basically.
Okay. Maybe something to help you move forward.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, what it was, the thing that I had that came to me was about inadequacy, a sense of
Yeah.
not doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
All these people doing healing programs and I'm not doing one kind of thing. And that was what I put in as the thought. Which doesn't feel very important at the moment. So.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else want to share? Anyone else who's not on the screen want to share? Just put your microphone on and let us know you're there. You don't have to if you don't want to. Okay. Right. So we're going to do a bit more healing now. So this is the experiential bit. So you get a healing out of this process. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work on clearing interference and control from outside influences, because there's a lot of energies. These are usually on the astral plane, which are here to stop us from growing and awakening. Right, and they attach to us, these negative energies, when we're vulnerable, and like we have a shock, or we give birth, have surgery, or go to the wrong pub, or whatever. Okay, and they can come in through holes in your aura, or when you're taking drugs, or just when you're emotionally stressed, and these beings come in when you drop your frequency, and they basically prevent us from moving to a higher consciousness, and they will often feed off our negative emotions or even trigger us to come into our negative emotions, because the negative energy of those emotions is food to these guys. So we all have them to a greater or lesser degree. So I'm going to clear a whole bunch of them, about 19 of them, off you quietly. So I want you just to close your eyes and just breathing through your mouth. We're going to clear a lot of stuff. You're going to feel a lot clearer after this, okay? So here we go. So we just cleared a whole bunch of earthbound souls. These are beings who have left a physical body, and they were attached to you because they have similar issues to you. They wanted to, through resonance, relive them. So we're going to do the second process now. This is clearing extraterrestrial presence around us. Just feel the energetic shift there. Now we're going to release the rest, which are like discards, entities, attachments, all the other astral beings that sit just in one vibration above us in the astral plane. Feel the shift there. These guys are left, a layer of them is gone. Okay, so just take a few deep breaths through your mouths and open your eyes. You see how you feel now after that clearing. Anyone want to share how that was? Jonathan, do you want to share how that was?
Yeah, I mean, you referred to it as a clearing, and that's the best way I can describe what I felt. There was one part of it almost felt like, imagine like a layer coming off my stomach, sort of lifting up and away from me. I felt at the end, like when the third one felt like it was very much at the surface.
Yeah.
Coming off it. Otherwise, it just felt like a general lightning and clearing.
Yeah.
That's what I could describe it.
Okay, good. You're going to have a bit more life force now because these guys steal your life force. So, Anyone else want to share? Sophia, do you want to share how that was? Bottom left.
Okay. Well, I didn't have so much difference with the first and the third one. Only with the third one, I really felt my heart is more jumping with joy, and I saw more the emerald color or the green color from the heart chakra came very intensely forward. So some clearing must have happened by the third part. Interestingly, with the second part is I mentally hopped in because I felt positive extraterrestrial presence with me, and I know in the work and what I'm doing or what the group I'm working with, there are higher beings working with us, and they said, okay, all positive extraterrestrial can stay. So that was the only thing I can say. I know I have a situation also where, how to say this, hybrid children try to make contact with me, and they keep distance until I'm ready. And I actually forgot about that for a while, and that vibration instantly came back. But it was neutral, so there is nothing severely, really. But it's nice to feel the heart chakra opening and, like jumping for joy, of joy. So thank you for all of that. Thank you.
Glad you enjoyed that.
I do.
Would anyone else like to share their experience? Just switch on your microphone. You don't have to, you don't want to. Okay. Right, so I'm going to share the screen again. So in divine healing, the way it works when we do it is that we just allow the higher, just open and just surrender to the higher self to pick these numbers, just to pick off. We just did interferences there. Then it might decide, okay, we'll do a low frequency program associated with that. So we're sort of going with the flow of spirit, really, just through muscle testing, where the body tells you if it's true or not true, and number mapping, where you just open to higher self, and it will just give you numbers. So it may just go 13, and let's do 10, judgments and beliefs. Okay, we carry, let's look at fears and phobias. Let's look at God consciousness issues. They're about how we separate from God. I want to look at, well, what's the original time and age of cause of the program? So we're targeting a program. Okay, we have lovely things like sabotages. This is all subconscious stuff. Key psychological conflicts. Consciously we think we're going one way, but actually our ego is going completely the opposite way. All the things which stop us moving forward in life. So we have these really powerful core deep healing programs like we've just mentioned there. Then you have like integration programs like hydrating your water, the rehydration of the body. We have like flower essences here energetically to help us integrate. We may be, what else? We may infuse energetic nutrition to stabilize us. Okay, so we're going to do another one now. We're going to do past life deaths. So a lot of, we die in not particularly pleasant ways in the past, and often that will come in and sully the memory in this life. So we're going to clear a few past life deaths now, okay? So some lovely ones here. So just, if any of them jump out at you, okay, or you're aware of it, just be conscious of that. So just pick whatever your eye is drawn to and just focus on that. We're going to clear it now, okay? All right. Well, if you already know what it is, just breathe into it, okay? So we'll do that now. Okay. And become aware of how many lifetimes you died that particular way, because often we do it more than once. All right. I remember I used to watch medieval movies of people being hung, drawn, and quartered, and that always used to make me really queasy. And then I had a full recall of it actually had happened to me. Well, the soul and another personality. So So we're going to clear the process now. You guys just breathe into that awareness of those past life or lives, however many there were. Here we go. I'm going to run the clearing command code now. So just embrace the shift and give great thanks for that clearing. Okay. Just open your eyes when you're ready. And this will work for you guys watching it on the video later as well. Exactly the same thing will happen. So. Just open your eyes when you're ready. Sophia, are you okay? Yeah. Anyone want to share how that clearing was? Jonathan, do you want to share how that was?
What I found myself wondering, what you're saying at the beginning about feeling it, healing it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily getting into really feeling in this situation. See what I mean? I'm not, you know, if I there was one, I mean, all things like crucifixion, crushed and whatever, not necessarily in that little space of time feeling being crushed. So I'm just questioning that at the moment, sort of academic level compared to what you said earlier, that feeling.
Yeah, you may just be aware it's happened. You may be still slight feeling it, but you're not like to get the full recall of it because you probably don't want to have the full recall of it. That it happened. It's more an awareness of it because which happened. So with another personality a long time ago, usually. So it's in the cellular memory, your cellular memory that's come up, and it may have been mild to quite strong in its impact. Hard to tell, you see. Have you had in your life people trying to crucify you, though, at some level?
No, I mean, that wasn't one. The one that I've got, and I've had it all for years, is a sense of being literally stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
I've been in a situation where I couldn't lie down on my back for fear of if you like, pushing an implement further into me. It was already stabbing me. I could feel it. Left of my right shoulder blade.
Yeah.
And so that was the one that I went with.
Yeah. And how's your back feeling now?
It's still there. It's still. I mean, there's definitely. I don't know really. It's been around for so long. I've done so much work on it. I've just got used to it.
Yeah, there may be an astral knife in there actually that needs pulling out as well. The past life files sit in our fields and they trigger when certain times and recreate something similar. Sounds like that was quite a serious one for you.
Yeah, it's also my defense, my sort of like defense mechanism. You know, all my life, when
Yeah,
I've been tensed up my right shoulder.
yeah,
So at the moment, I've got a whole bunch of it. I've got it all up my arm, everywhere.
yeah,
It's very active.
yeah. Okay, thanks for sharing. Sophia, how was that? Have I muted?
Oh, you unmuted me? Okay. Yes. Okay, that's an interesting one because for in the last week, beginning of last week, what came up for me was healing my separation of my divine counterpart. And the first time when fractions of that came up, I couldn't fully go into it because it was too painful. And then, but I know this process is already, then I take another time, and then when I feel I'm ready, I'm going into it. And that's an ongoing process because, and that's a question that's in combination with a question because I feel this is really on a high dimension. And what happened there was when you are turned against each other, this is a complete new experience for me because I feel we were turned against each other to the degree that the divine counterpart does not even want to come with you together or incarnate with you in the same at the same linear timeline because you would attract each other and he would destroy you to that degree. So he stepped back from that. And there is a very, very deep healing, and I have a feeling, I just went into that, and I actually allow the feeling, and that would be my question in connection with Jonathan as well. I mean, you might go mental there, but when you decide to allow the feeling, that would help, right? When you allow the feeling, when you choose to allow the feeling, because the intention is what counts. But on the other hand side, I clearly feel that there are certain layers because it goes very deep, or shall I say very high, I don't know. So would you say that there are sometimes more than one session where you work on one theme and you have to, as you say, peel off the layers? Is that what you then do? I don't hear you. Okay, I don't hear you.
Yeah, is that better?
Yes, now I hear you.
Yeah. In a session, you tend to work on about 3 main themes will run in a session.
Okay.
Basically 3 primary healing processes. And the order will be in, you can't work out. You just work with whatever's running strongest emotionally in the moment. Usually if you set up a session, your client or yourself, you're working on yourself, because you can just do this work on yourself. The issue will come up when you're just before, or a few hours or days before you're actually doing the session. And then you work with that issue, and then you let that integrate, and then you wait for the next issue to come up, and you can do that just by picking a number between 1 and 26 on the contents page, and then the higher self will guide you to it.
Yeah.
It all sort of unfolds quite naturally. You don't have to work this out at all. It's not about the mind working this out. It's about going with the flow of spirit.
Okay.
Flow of feeling.
Yes. Yes, because I feel a lot has to do with me, because it's part of the empowerment, that I allow that. I said, okay, I'm ready for this, and I'm allowing this.
Yeah, you've got to, when you're open to things, new things clear. It's like it's an unraveling of the unknown inner light of who you are.
Yes, definitely. Because that is something I know only because where I am right now, I can't even access this level. This would not have been possible before. I know that. So, and I'm fine with that. Yes, because it's part of the process. Yeah.
So the thing is that we don't actually know how we're built until we start peeling the layers, and it's sometimes quite surprising because the ego builds itself up in lots of different layers. And it doesn't actually matter. All that matters is getting to it in the right order, which is what divine healing does. It peels it with grace and ease.
Yes.
It's a journey of awakening, really. This is what this work is about.
Yes, it is, and it interlaces with so many other things, because particularly this interlaces a lot with my inner work of the equality of the divine feminine and masculine within myself, which I feel right now you reach to a certain degree, so then you can look into these very painful processes, because it was literally a soul split, right? So I think this is it all has a divine timing. Yes, I'm grateful for that, we can work with that, because it's always easier when somebody externally assists you.
Yeah.
When you go.
There's no figuring out with the divine healing. It's about letting go and going into a no mind space and just allowing high consciousness to unravel the illusion of who we thought we were.
Yes.
Actually taking us to who we truly are, which is pure love in the end. And it's a graceful sort of dance. And on the training, basically we go through, I teach you all those 26 charts, and you actually get to practice. You practice on each other with all the charts, or we do them together on the simple ones. But the more complex ones, I demonstrate how to do it. Then you go off and practice. You swap sessions with each other and during the workshop, and you actually get a full healing for 4 days. That's actually how it works. So you have a direct experience of all the charts, and you come out quite radically shifted.
I can imagine there is a lot of release when a group like this, a session like this happens.
Yeah, well, we spend a lot of time in the first day building trust with the group, and work with each other.
Yes.
We use Zoom here, or people in person in England, they are with me in person. And then Zoom is set up that you can have virtual practice rooms, so you just have privacy, just the two of you working together. I can visit as well. But you're separate virtually from everyone else, or you're in a physical room with me doing that. So it's a very powerful healing process, and every healing that you give or receive, everyone in the group gets it.
Oh wow!
All the issues. It's not just what you personally do. It's everyone gets all the things that were healed in all the charts by everyone.
Wow, that's quantum healing.
So it's really strong, but people come out really cleaned out, and it's very powerful. So it's sort of very much an experiential process, the class, and it's so you can then work on yourself, because you can clear 80% of your issues by yourself. The other 20% are usually core ego constructs that your personality is built on. That's when you need a more experienced divine healer to actually hold space to take you through that. But it's empowering, because a lot of the stuff you can just do yourself, and save yourself a lot of money and time and grief by having.
Yeah, you go straight to the point, and it doesn't have to be dramatic.
No, it doesn't. No, the ego will try and make it dramatic, but it doesn't have to be.
That's great. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Anyone else want to share their experience? Thomas, do you want to share your experience now you're here? Maybe if you could turn a light on, because we can't see you very well. Is there a light in the room there?
No, I'm actually we are in the darkness here.
Yeah.
It's early in the morning.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I hear really clear. Where are you? In Germany, are you, or?
No, I'm sitting next to Christina in Korea.
Okay. All right.
Christina is my wife.
Okay. All right. How was that? Do you want to share how that was for you?
Yeah, the first thing was interesting, because I went straight back to my childhood.
Yeah.
To the early years, the first, second, third year, and it was like I connected with a gray screen going backwards. It was like attempting to go into before my birth. And at the same time, I had some very strong sensations in my stomach, like feeling hungry or something, but there was some deep sensation there. And not much more happened, a little calmness and so. But then the second healing was interesting because when Jonathan described how he felt, was very similar to my relief in my stomach region. Very interesting.
Okay. So you had a big clearing there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And actually, I feel very good now in that region.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we carry a lot of energies which don't belong to us, and it really drags on us. So this stuff's really good for staying clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good for working on yourself and working on others if you want to be a practitioner. That's the way this works. So, okay.
Yeah.
So thank you. Anyone else want to share? Who's not on? Whose account's not showing themselves? You just switch your mic on if you want. You don't have to if you don't want. Just an invitation. No? Okay. Well, we're going to do one more chart to integrate you. We're going to do a nutrition chart. Okay. So nutrition we usually think of as being physical stuff we have to take, but actually it's actually a frequency that's going into our body. All right, so I want you to close your eyes. And what we have here in nutrition, we have amino acids, essential fatty acids, minerals and vitamins, okay, that we have here. What we're going to do here is that just have the intent that the appropriate nutrition is going to come to you, and your higher self will pick the right frequency. I'll give you a few minutes just to connect to that. Here we go. We're going to infuse it now. You might feel a little shiver in your body as the frequency goes in. Nutrition bypasses the ego mind and just gives you the right frequency to help you integrate the shift you've been making. Okay, so just open your eyes when you're ready. Anyone want to share how that was? That's like an integration chart. Because you do strong clearings, you've got to integrate, let the body just settle before you do any other strong ones. Sophia, do you want to share how that was?
Yes, so that was a real funny one, because I felt like as if the whole body, or shall I call it every cell, simultaneously nurturing through the tingling. There was no specific area of my body. It was actually all of it. It was a gentle way. It had a specific, really gentle, subtle feeling. And one thing is funny, we have in our yard a moringa tree, and it was like my body consciousness reached out with a long arm to the moringa tree and picked some leaves, which actually tells me to go later and do that in the physical. So, and yeah, I mean, that's a wonderful tool. I don't have to make dinner now when I finish, right?
Well, your body still may want a bit of physical feed.
Yes, I know. I'm just joking.
To jump
just joking, but it's I never did it in that way. All I did so far is I communicate with my body consciousness to tell me what my body needs, so that I get a natural craving for the right foods, not what we have in addictions like to sugar or so, but really like natural feeling. and what the body needs. This is what I'm doing with myself, but this is on a complete different level. Very interesting. Thank you for that, Niklas.
Yeah, well, we're ultimately all vibration frequencies, so we're just
Sure.
putting one frequency in to transmute another one, you see.
Yes. Would you say something, because you mentioned the amino acids? I mean, through the ascension process, we're going through a lot of changes, and I realized that, for instance, you have to leave certain foods completely because it doesn't match with your body frequency anymore. So I had to leave bread and whatever else behind me at a certain level. So would you say, is there something what you can say is assisting us particularly in this process on our journey, where you say, okay, for all of these changes, are the amino acids most important, or is there anything you can share with us?
Aminos are pretty important. It just depends on what you're actually doing with your energy. If you're doing a lot of healing work and things like that, you may need to look for different things, supplements to help you. Because when you're on high frequencies, so the body actually burns your minerals. It's a question of which ones in you are being burnt out, depending on what your healing channel is doing. Phosphorus gets burnt out a lot if you're doing high frequency work, so things like bee pollen are good for that. But it just depends on what you're up to, you see.
Okay, thank you. Is that part of the divine healing? Do you go into the sort of nutrition, as you just said right now? Do you go deeper into that when you teach that?
Not in that sense. It's more teaching you what are the charts, how they're structured, how you use them in particular situations, just how all the 26 pieces fit together.
Okay.
There's a lot to cover in the 4 days. So
yes.
Okay. Yes. If you have questions like that, they'll be answered. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else want to share on the nutrition front? Jonathan, do you want to say anything on that one?
Not much to say really. It's just nice. Really.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
Spectacular.
Okay. That's okay. Suzanne?
Just a light, nice feeling energy.
Okay, thank you. Thomas, how was that for you?
I have a very pleasant feeling in my body.
Okay, all right.
And there has certainly been some shifts in the sensations in my body this morning. Yeah, okay. During this, very nice.
Okay.
On nutrition, well, I don't know if it's relevant in this context, but yesterday I just had this sensation of really getting rid of all kind of meat in my life.
Yeah.
So that's a very nice decision.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, thank you for sharing that. So we're nearly finished today, guys. This will give you a real experience of that. Are there any remaining questions you have about the system? Sort of, the course is a little bit like this. You're working on each other, and you're just trying it out, and you're flowing in the right order through this 26 charts that you as a group would require. Every class is different, but you definitely come out a lot lighter. So, and with a new tool to use every day, each day, for yourself and others. No? Okay. So,
yeah.
Jonathan?
Yeah, just a question. So when you had your 26 charts,
yep.
talked about different ways of accessing which chart to go for. Yeah, is that covered? Is that what you cover in the course? How you how you might determine which chart to look at.
Oh yeah, we cover the whole thing, how you muscle test, how you number map, how you flow between the charts, how they interact, how you use them all. It's a complete immersion in it. So it all becomes quite familiar. Yeah. So we teach you how to work with what presents itself in one chart, and some charts lead to other charts. They just go through many layers to complete a particular issue, and you integrate it. Something to, like nutrition, and for example, to help it integrate. Then you go off and do another set of charts, which you're going to do the next issue. And it depends on what as a group the overall issues to be cleared are. It follows its own natural flow. So we explain how the whole rhythm of a session works, working on yourself or working on someone else in the class. So it's not just sort of a data dump, it's actually a complete experiential flow, following the higher self, basically. So quite an elegant process, really. I hope that, does that help?
It does. I just thinking about the amount of data there must be there, and how where are you left at the end of the 4 days? Sure, I imagine that there's still a lot more learning goes on.
Well, you've just got to basically go and practice. Everything's written down, so you don't have to remember it. All you just got to do, the only thing you need to do is just learn how to use them. Okay. And then practice on yourself and practice on others, and then you get, after a while, it activates in you the work. Basically, as it activates, it gets easier to do it. It gets lighter and clearer.
Okay. Yeah.
Any other questions from anybody?
Hello?
Yeah, who's speaking there?
Christina.
Christina, hi. Do you want to show yourself, or show?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask.
You just say yes to the video there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just in bed, so sorry.
Well, it's okay.
I don't feel like sharing myself in bed.
All right, you just talk away then. It's fine.
Okay. I wanted to ask: are you offering the Master Healing course online for those of us who are not living in England?
Yeah, well, most people do attend online. It ranges from California to New Zealand when we do this, so we will be using Zoom just like this here. And it'll be just like this, but there might be, depends how many people there are, 5, 10 or more people. And you can do it from the comfort of your home, in bed, wherever you're comfortable. As long as you've got a good internet connection, it works fine. And when you practice, we have what I call breakout rooms.
Mm-hmm.
You go off I allocate you in pairs off to a virtual breakout room. So it's just the two of you and your partner. You get to work with everyone in the class eventually.
Sure.
You're just working with each other. No one else can hear or see you except me. I can visit the rooms to supervise and answer questions, and you can put a virtual hand up and say, I need some help, and I come and find you. Mm-hmm. So it's just like being in a real classroom, except you don't have to fly a long way from Korea to England. It's just wherever the internet is, you can do this. I've had people do these classes. One of my Indian clients, he was on an iPad in a grass hut on the beach on holiday, doing a class on mobile data, because he wanted to do the class, but he wanted to go on holiday with his family as well. So he managed to do that. So as long as the internet works, you can be in the class.
And second question is it going to be during the weekend? Because during the week we work, so we cannot attend, and the time difference is also an issue. So is it going to be a weekend?
The next class, let me get the dates out for you guys. Hang on. I'm just going to pull up the PowerPoint. So the next class they run about 3 times a year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next class is the 16th, 19th of December. So there's 2 weekdays there. This is a 4-day class. And the class will run from about 1 o'clock English time to 8:30, okay, English time. And the reason for that is because people in California get up at 5 a.m. We get a lot of West Coast people in America. Mm-hmm. So how far are you? 9 hours ahead in Korea?
So, it's
What time
9
is it?
hours. It's 9 p.m. 10 p.m. 10 p.m.
Are you 10 p.m.? What time are you now? It's
So we are 9 hours ahead of you now.
okay. So in that case, it will run from 10 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. your time. Okay.
And what day? It's just Friday, no? Friday.
The 16th, which is
Friday, I think. Yeah, because that's when I have my holidays starting Friday.
hang on, let me just check on the calendar here, tell you exactly the day. So I remember the day. It's just a minute. Just find it. So it starts on a Friday, the 16th, and goes to Monday, the 19th.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's exactly when we are flying to Europe. That's funny. Oh, okay. So the next, we'll have to wait to the next one.
Yeah, there'll be another one in spring. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to come to that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Hope that helped.
Yeah. And I felt a lot of release. There was a lot of cloudiness and stuckness on my left brain.
Yeah.
And it disappeared. And I got the image of a haunted witch as a past life thing. And it was many times, not once. And I have then past life regression and things. So I've been feeling all the pain and integrating all the memories and images. So I feel that, I don't know, there will be an end. I will feel when there is an end. So I don't know when, what we're supposed to feel. That I don't know if is there a sense that, okay, everything is clear, and how do we feel that? Is it in the gut, or we just feel happy? And
things get clear for a while, then another layer comes up. You just feel better and lighter for a while, and then your soul will pop another layer up to clear as you awaken, really. So you do get more periods of being clearer the more you do this. I mean, my life has changed totally since I did divine healing. So, Suzanne, do you want to share how your life has changed? Suzanne's a divine healing practitioner. She's done a lot of. She works with me.
Yes, my life has changed completely and totally, and I'm unrecognizable as to how I was when I started the journey. I've become much more aligned with my true self and confident and empowered. It's a journey and it continues, and it's been absolutely amazing. I've met some wonderful people, got some great friends through it as well, doing some absolutely fantastic work with clients as well, seeing really great shifts in them. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Really reached the parts that many other things haven't reached.
Yeah, so if you wanted to have a more in-depth experience of how it works in a session, you can go to this link here, freeupyourlifewithdivinehealing.com, that explains about sessions. This is the sessions. Suzanne offers the sessions here, and this is me here, if you want to try them out. The training itself is running about a month's time. This is the full price, £412 or $530 US. And you find out more here at thedivinehealingtraining.com. And this is a deposit if you want to secure your place. It's £139 or $180 US. But the beauty of the training is that you can then clear 80% of your issues yourself. And life changes a lot, changes quite radically once you start doing this on yourself. A lot of the things you thought were permanent are not, and they just peel off. And it was a tool I've been waiting for when Amira and the other two healers developed it. It's got me to where I am in life. So I'm just happy to share it with anyone who wants to engage with the conscious journey of awakening as we ascend. So thank you for all coming and attending, and thank you for everyone else who's going to watch this later. So there will be a Facebook group, which I will send you all a link for, where you can ask more questions if you have that. It'll be I'll put the link on the follow-up email. Any final questions about that before we close?
Yeah, I have a question. It's more practical to one of the things you showed before, or we went through. I was I was looking for headaches and migraine, things like that.
Yeah.
And right away I couldn't find it, but is that somewhere in the chart you have?
Headaches and migraines are it depends on what's been going on. You would have to sort of diagnose it a bit, but it can be caused by trauma coming out of the medulla, the reptilian brainstem, the most prominent part of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
It can be dehydration or toxicity. Okay, if it's a woman, it can be hormonal imbalances, especially like near menopause and things like that, or just under a lot of stress. There can be multiple reasons for it. But it's something more to be addressed in a session to find out. You have to take a history to find out what's been going on for you to actually work that one out. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
Any other final questions or comments? Jonathan.
Point of view of, you talked about doing swaps and exchanges and things like that. What would you need to do? What would one need to do to get to a point of being able to offer this to other people?
Work on yourself. Work on some friends who want a bit of who need a bit of practice, who need some work. Do swaps with other practitioners. There's 150, 200 practitioners, and there's the Facebook group for all the practitioners around the world. So they all tend to do a lot of swaps with each other, so they get some practice. Okay, so it's a bit of practice for a while to get confident with it. Work on yourself, and then it gets to the point where you feel, I can do this, and then you start working on people and getting paid for it and making a difference in their lives. So it's a gradual process. Okay. And we totally support you with the Facebook group, and Suzanne runs a support. What do you call it again, Suzanne? What's the full name?
Divine Healing Support Program.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that briefly?
Yes. It's a course which is aimed to do exactly what you've asked for, Jonathan, and you're right, it's 4 days, it's great in-depth healing, and sometimes we can really get it and come away with questions. So it's a place where you can ask any questions, where we can troubleshoot charts, we can talk about sessions, we can practice any of the items that were covered in the course that you feel you need some more support with, and we can support and develop each other as a community. And I arrange practice pairings, and we feed back on that, and we gradually build up from a session where we share with each other to support each other to where we're doing a session as we would with a client.
Yeah, so basically we hold your hand, Jonathan, until you get up and running, and I think quite a few of the new practitioners have got their businesses up and running because they just got enough confidence from the support to do the very thing you're asking. So that's why Suzanne came up with that program. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Any last questions, anybody, before we close? Okay. All right. Thank you for everybody for coming. I'll get the video out in the next day or two so you can try it out, and hope you guys who are watching later on enjoy this as well. So take care. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.